going on, guys? Welcome back to Team Performance TV. Today we're going to do brakes and rotors on my Infiniti Q50. So I normally have the luxury of using a lift, but just for this video I'm going to do a DIY of doing it in my shed with a jack and regular basic tools. So before you start, you want to find your brake fluid reservoir. Mine is underneath this cover here. You want to open the top so when you squeeze in the piston the fluid gets to move. So you want to find your jacking points. You don't want to crush the pinch welds. Mine is right here. Every car is different. Well, the Q50s are all going to be the same, but if you're watching this video to do brakes on another car, find the proper jacking point. You always want to have a jack stand. You don't want the jack failing on you. Even though this is a brand new jack, you can never be too sure. I'd rather have the jack stand there as a safety precaution than having the car fall on me. And it's set. So this is literally all the tools we're going to need for today. We have a impact gun, a torque wrench to torque the wheels when we're done, my wheel lock, a 14mm wrench. This is a 22mm socket, impact, brake caliper press, and a rubber mallet. So I have wheel locks on these things. Make sure you get the key for your wheel lock. And these are 21mm sockets. These are 21mm bolts, so you're gonna need a 21mm wheel socket. These don't scratch the wheel. I suggest getting a set of these. They're like 20 bucks on those. These are Craftsman. Today's wheel finishes are really delicate. The last thing you want to do is scratch a wheel. Now this should come off pretty easy. So my car does not have the sport brakes, but I'll put a picture up of what you have to do with the sport brakes that's different to this. It's one step that's different, that's all. So there are two 22mm bolts we need to take out. One here and one here, just right behind the caliper. So once you take this out, the caliper is going to be off the car, so you got to hold it. That's the bolt. Next one. And now the caliper is off. So you want to secure the caliper because you don't want to stretch the hose, and we got to get this rotor off. You can use a metal hammer. I like to use a rubber mallet just because it's more gentle. Give it a couple whacks. It'll come off itself. So I had to use some PB Blaster and manipulate it a little bit, but it came off when I hit it with the mallet. I didn't do anything crazy, I promise. So I went to rockauto.com. I got these Bestas brake discs. They're not drilled or slotted. This is my grocery getter. I'm not racing anywhere. My wife primarily drives this car. Basic rotors, and I got some Brembo pads. They're ceramic, just to have a little extra bite. They give a little bit more brake dust, but it does grab harder. So it's perfect for a day-to-day use. When you take your brake discs out of these bags, you have to spray them with brake clean because they are greased, just for longevity and so they don't get rust. Now the new rotor will go in, nice and easy. Now that the caliper is here, I'm going to move one of the pads to make it caliper go back in easier. These still have meat on them, but these rotors were warped to high hell. My wife drives a lot of stop and go traffic for work and killed the rotors, so I had to change both. Now the caliper is going to go back on. caliper is heavy, so be mindful of the weight. You always want to run the bolts in by hand. You don't want to cross thread anything. The last thing you want to do is cross thread one of these bolts. You'll be in for a fun time. I'm gonna run them up and not tighten them, just to make sure. Top one now. Tight. I like to be sure. Now the next thing we're going to do, we're going to use the 14mm wrench and loosen the caliper itself from the carrier. And I was going the wrong direction. All you got to do is loosen the top one. We're going to swing the caliper upwards. When you're loosening this, just give it a couple taps and it'll come right out. Trying to get it out. It comes off really easy. This car is fairly new too, so be mindful. I'm not having a hard time here. Now you can see the actual pad. That's the second pad. The one with the prong goes in the inside. So I've got the pads here ready. I'm putting some disc brake quiet on it. Any little bit helps. Brake grease, anything. I like to use the spray because it doesn't make a mess. Very easy to go on. Done. So when putting the pads back in, there's a prong right here. There's like a little spring right here. You gotta make sure that the pad pushes against it and doesn't go behind it. And there we go. This might take me a few tries just because of its positioning. And we're in. That disc brake quiet is very sticky. Both pads are in. So this is a Lang caliper press. This has dual pistons, so this makes it a lot easier to compress than the standard caliper press that you can buy like at AutoZone, like a C-clamp. The ratchet's super easy. When it's in place, you get it, and then you just go backwards. It comes out. Both pistons are in now, and we're just gonna bring it down. And the last step, we have to put that 14mm bolt back. Right here. Don't mind me, I have allergies. And we're gonna tighten it. Ugh, tight. Top one is tight. Okay, we're done for now. So now I have to straighten the wheel, but before I straighten the wheel, you want to press the brake pedal to get fluid back to the caliper. If you go to start the car and don't do this, the pedal will hit the floor. Now I'll start it. I got the wheel straight, and now I can put the wheel back on. If you have problems getting in the hole, I suggest you call somebody who's a professional. I like to put the wheel lock on first just so I don't forget it. So I'm gonna run this up with the gun, but the wheels need to be torqued. Now before we torque the wheel, I'm gonna drop the jack. You gotta jack the car up a little bit more to get the weight off the jack stand. Move it out of the way. And we're gonna come down now. I have a gear wrench, torque wrench. I don't have everything snap on, I'm not that rich. So we're gonna torque these wheels to 80 foot-pounds. I already set it. Now you hear that click? That means it's reached where it's gotta go. You don't want to yank on the torque wrench, you'll get a false sense of tightening. And you want to go in a star pattern. All good. So when you finish, don't forget to cover the brake reservoir. As you see, my fluid came back up. I have this extra cover. If I can put it on properly. One-handed. There we go. Alright guys, that's it. The last step is to bed the brakes. To bed the brakes properly, what you're going to have to do is get it up to speed about 30-40 miles an hour, then lightly apply the brakes till you drop 10 miles, and do this a couple of times over and over again. You don't want to slam hard on the brakes and glaze the pads. What I mean when I say glaze the pads, what happens is the brake pad material, it gets so hot that it smoothens out and then it won't grab at all anymore. Thanks for watching guys. If you made it this far into the video, please like and subscribe.